All right, here's an interesting fact about Jesus Christ's resurrection that may or may not confirm it.
All right, let's see it.
According to biblical scholars, they say that in the year 33 AD is when Jesus Christ was crucified after the Passover.
Well, most scholars would say it probably took place somewhere between 30 and 33 CE.
And when you go to NASA's official website, you can see right here, the year 33, April 3rd, for 3 hours. That is literally what the Gospel of Luke says is from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Right here, it was about noon and darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. Come on, man. There's evidence. You just ain't looking for it.
So there are some very critical flaws in this argument. The first is that, as the NASA website quite clearly shows, this was a lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse is different from a solar eclipse. A solar eclipse is where the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, and the light from the sun is entirely blocked by the moon. That's when it can get dark. A lunar eclipse is when the Earth is between the sun and the moon, and the shadow of the Earth passes over the moon, and that does not cause it to get dark. So, this was a lunar eclipse. There was no darkness associated with this. But because it was a lunar eclipse, which usually only occurs in the evening, this did not happen between noon and 3 p.m. If you look at this information that NASA provides regarding this particular lunar eclipse, people in Jerusalem only would have seen the shadow of the Earth cross over a corner of the moon starting around 6:20 p.m., and it would have been over around 9 p.m. So this has absolutely nothing to do with any kind of phenomenon that occurred between noon and 3. And that also is different from John's account of the crucifixion that has the darkness taking place earlier. So this cannot explain darkness taking place for 3 hours during Jesus's crucifixion. Another big problem with the notion that an eclipse caused the darkness is that a solar eclipse cannot happen on the Passover, because a solar eclipse requires a new moon where you don't see any of the moon, because the moon is actually in between the Earth and the sun. But the Passover occurs in association with a full moon, which means the moon is on the other side of the Earth from the sun, which is why you can have a lunar eclipse on Passover. So this has absolutely nothing to do with any darkness that possibly took place anywhere near Jesus' crucifixion.
Now we know the day and the time of Jesus Christ being crucified.
Bro.
And we have 6 eyewitness accounts.
We have 0 eyewitness accounts.
And 9 others outside of biblical accounts. This is way more evidence than Alexander the Great or any public figure or even George Washington. This is way more. Lock in.
It is absolutely no such thing whatsoever, and it sounds like you really need to lock into thinking critically and Googling competently. And the fit for this video has been Spider Punk.